Sunday School. This week I want to talk about inexpensive, budget, cheap, whatever you want to call them, guitars. I've been seeing a lot more, especially on sites like Amazon and whatnot, a lot more guitars going for really low prices. I have a Strat that cracked. You know, since they're made with several pieces, it had actually cracked along the body where the two pieces were joined. The joint just failed. It was an SX from Rondo Music, and I had contacted them and they wouldn't make it right, so I just started harvesting parts off of it for other projects. And what I'm left with, a few years later, is basically a cracked body with the pickguard and pickups. I had upgraded the pickups, so the pickguard and electronics are good. So I decided I'm going to look for a Strat that I can just drop this into and have, a nice little beater guitar. I like to keep an inexpensive guitar around to spend, it's what I play the most. It's the one that's always there next to my desk, and, it's going to get all the wear and tear instead of one of my more expensive guitars when I'm just sitting around, because I play almost every day. So whether I'm practicing or just jamming around, I like to have what I would call a beater guitar that's an electric to just, wear the frets down on that and not, your expensive guitar. Well, so I'm looking on Amazon and I find one of the sellers selling Crestwood Stratocasters. Normally they look like they're running about $120, $130, somewhere in that range. But they had this one for $60. I didn't have high hopes at $60, but Amazon's pretty good about, returns and everything. So if I got it, it was a piece of garbage, I would have returned it. However, the parts are actually pretty nice. One caveat, though. If you don't know how to work on guitars, set neck relief, intonation, action, these budget guitars from these, maybe the no-name brands, maybe not a gamble you want to make. If you're talking about the 120 to 130 range, there are other guitars out there that are around that price range. And you can get Squiers, although the tuners actually on this are better. But I'll go into what issues were with this Crestwood in a moment. But anyway, for maybe $150, you can get a Yamaha. There are, if you jump up to just the $200 range, there are a bunch of guitars that are suitable. I have a few guitars that are in that range that I'm completely happy with. I know a lot of people consider them starter guitars, but I'm really happy with them, so that's all that matters to me. Now back to this guitar. I got this. It's in Black Voodoo, which is just a matte black finish. There's no gloss to it. Now, the fit and finish isn't bad. There's no sharp fret ends. The frets are level, so I've got a really good action and no dead spots. No problems like that at all. Where the issue lies was the neck was not straight. It had too much relief, and that made the action really high. Well, once I got the action set, I couldn't get the thing in tune. Open strings were in tune fine, but as you played up the neck, it was awful. So I knew the intonation was off. And if you don't know how to adjust these or have the tuner for it, then you're going to have to take it somewhere, or you're just never going to be able to get it in tune. After I got the intonation set and the relief set and everything, And actually, it's got the enclosed die-cast tuners, and it actually holds tune pretty well. I don't have too many problems. It plays really nice. The neck's actually really nice on this guitar. Especially when I consider that I spent $60 on it delivered. I have no complaints whatsoever. There's no real issues with the finish. Like any matte finish, it's there. The pickups don't sound bad. Having said that, they're a little weak, and if I'm going to compare it to my American Strat, it eats this guitar alive. But $60 opposed to, I don't remember what that, it's an American Strat, I don't remember what that cost. But, I mean, this is literally a small fraction of the price of that guitar. And I intend on replacing the pickups anyway, so, because I have left over from that broken, cracked guitar. But yeah, the fretwork's nice. I read a bunch of reviews, and it seems like a lot of people are buying these to play games like Rocksmith. And a couple of the reviews I saw, people were unhappy because once they're starting to play, they've noticed that all their notes are sharp. Well, that comes from their intonation not being set. So you're never going to be able to play that game very well if your guitar's not intonated. If you can't get it in tune, the game can't recognize that you're playing a song correctly. So, yeah. If you don't know how to set intonation or set a guitar up, period, I would almost steer away from guitars like this. If you're looking for an inexpensive guitar, I would go with a name brand and buy it from if you can't buy it locally and try it first, buy it from a reputable dealer that will take care of you. Just naming a few dealers that I trust. You've got RNA Music in Texas. You've got Flipside Music in Colorado. You've got Riff City Guitar in Minnesota. Sweetwater is probably one of the bigger ones of that group, but I had an issue with the guitar and they took care of me, and it was great. And all those other companies I've purchased from, and they've taken really good care of me. I've done a lot of business with RNA because they're a Chapman dealer, and as you've seen in videos, I play quite a few Chapman guitars. But yeah, I would purchase from a reputable dealer, and they'll take care of you. They'll probably have it set up before it even comes to you. Where with these, when you buy off Amazon, it's probably been sitting in a warehouse for a while, and it's just grabbed off the shelf and sent out. Who knows how old the strings were that were on this thing? They seemed like they were ancient. So those are just some things to be aware of. Now I have, I search around for deals, and have probably bought way more guitars than I will ever need. But I found like a Squier for, I think it was $80, a Telecaster, and it's really nice. It actually has the sealed tuners. It's a Telecaster with the humbucker and the bridge. I haven't seen them anymore, but I think it was a Black Friday sale, maybe. Sorry for all the cuts in the video. My allergies are kind of bugging me today, and I keep having to stop the video to cough. So, but just to let you know why everything might be jumping around a little bit. But yeah, for budget guitars, there are a lot that you can find in the, $100 to $120, $150 range. And the lower you go in price, the more you're probably going to have to do to it when you get it. It's not always saying that. I mean, you may order a $90 guitar and it comes perfect. Who's to say? I could have ordered another one of these and maybe it didn't have the neck problems. Well, I won't say problems. It was just too much relief few turns of the truss rod, and it was all fine. So there was nothing on this guitar that was an issue that couldn't be fixed in an evening. You know, I spent an evening setting it up, and I think maybe over the period of 2 evenings, I set the intonation just because I got to work, so I didn't have all the time in the world to dedicate to it. But yeah, it's now that it's set up, it's a pretty nice guitar, and it's going to probably be getting the majority of my practice. You know, for those times when I'm sitting there doing, or whatever I'm practicing, this will be the one that gets the fret wear over, you know, a Fender or a Chapman or a Godin. You know, I had an OLP, one of the ones that looked like the silhouettes from Ernie Ball. That was my beater guitar, and I don't remember how many years. I think I gave about $100 for it, and I literally played it till now it buzzes. And it needs recrowned or a fret job or something like that, but the guitar itself's not valuable enough for me to spend, you know, the however much it's going to cost for a fret job. I mean, I paid less than $100 for the guitar. I'm not going to drop $200 or $400 in a fret job. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to look around and, like I did with this, and find a $60 Strat to pick up to be my next beater guitar. So it's a $60 investment instead of a several $100 investment to have a beater guitar. Alright, the point of this video wasn't really to review this guitar, because I don't know that anybody cares. But it does, you know, alder body, maple neck, rosewood fingerboard, standard Strat bridge. Like I said, it sounds fine. Sounds like a Strat, but a little weak pickups. Not the strongest. But yeah, it's fine, especially when you consider that if you wait and watch long enough, you can pick one up pretty cheap. I'd seen these on sale previously for around that much, and didn't pull the trigger then, and they shot back up to 120 something. And like I said, for that price or just a little more, you can get something. You don't have to feel like it's a gamble. But when this I saw these drop back down to $60, I figured, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. So I did, and I guess it worked out. Alright, well, if you have any other questions about, you know, maybe this guitar in particular, maybe you were looking at it for Rocksmith, or you were just looking to pick up a beater Strat, you know, feel free to comment or send me a message. I'll be happy to give more information on this if you want it. Otherwise, like the video if you like the video, and subscribe. Alright? Thanks, and I'll see you next time.